So what we'll be tying today, or wings we're going to be working on, is that split hair wing. Let everyone get in here. Hey, good morning, everyone. Cullen Scott, how's everyone doing this morning? Let's see. Getting a group here. Morning, everyone. Let's see, what is this? Approve. Oh, no, we don't want. Morning. All right. Let's see, bear with me. Got my wife's on a phone call right now, so trying to. Morning, Harry. Morning, Peter. Get started here in a second. Let some people get in. We're gonna be tying. Show you how to tie these split wings in. Get rid of my face there. That's what we're going to work on tying in today, is just teach y'all how to, morning Rick, how to tie in that split wing, this split wing right there, out of hair. So, alright, let's get started here. Let's see. We'll go right there. Alright, let's see here. Okay, so really the main materials we're going to be using. Everyone hear me okay? Hey, morning Jay. Some of the materials we're going to be using is that are typically used for a split hair wing. These are your common materials. These are going to be your calf body hair. Okay, good deal. Thanks, Peter. The calf body hair. This one's by Hairline. Compare done hair. So I know it's all backwards, but compare done hair. That is your go-to. Really, it's a fine hair, deer hair. Another one, Jay Stockard carries this. Dooley's, I know, carries the calf body hair. Another one is, again, your calf tail. Check this out. You get your different colors of calf tail that you can use for your split wings. Good material for that. And really any other deer hair you got. I've got multiple shades of deer hair really for these, and you also, for compare done, this is going to be a good one here. So being that we're using hair, thread selection is real important. You know, yesterday I was tying with this thread here. Let's get this over here so you can see it. And this, if you look, is, pull it out. Let's see, give you this one here. Some threads are going to be, see this number here, 80. This 80, if you also look on, this one doesn't say it. Some of them say it. Like, here we go. Your 80 right here is going to be comparable to 72 denier. Now 72 denier, when you go with like UTC, you're going to see 70 up top. That's your 70 denier. So I had a question about that, and the funny thing is on 70 denier, the higher you go up, the stronger it is. I've got a 210. You got in your denier, you have your 70, your 140 right here, 140, And then, oh, where'd my 210 go? Oh, here it is. And then you got your 210. This is going to be your strongest thread right there for UTC. Now there's a 280, but yeah, once you go with the 80, comparable to it is the 70 denier, and they also have, you go with this one, it's going to be your 30 denier. Are you done, babe? Okay, sweet. She's off the phone. Okay, so now I don't have to be so quiet. But, okay, so this is your 30 denier. This is going to be super fine stuff. This is really fine stuff when you're working with smaller flies. That's really what you're going for, is to use your threads that are going to be for the size fly. You don't want to use like a 140, 210 denier on a size 16, 18, 20 size fly. You want to go with more of an 80 or a smaller denier. I know it gets confusing on some of the threads, but in due time you'll get familiar with that. On the deniers that are on the 80s, the smaller the number, the bigger the thread. So, and that's on the 80. So on the 70 denier, it's the higher the number, the bigger it is. So it gets confusing, but main ones that you're going to use is your 80 and your 70 denier. These are going to be your two biggest, your main ones. But being that we're tying in hair, and you can really use, on some of this fine hair, you can use the 80. Typically I do, but today what we're going to use is a 140 denier. This is going to be, we're going to use the 140 here because we are tying in deer hair and stuff like that, and I want a little stronger thread. Now you can use the strongest thread for any type of deer hair. If you're ever tying in deer hair, it's going to be your GSPs. It's your gel spun thread, and they come in a few sizes too. So this is good. Typically when you see like Ricky Evans tying his deer flies with all the deer hair, those beautiful flies, he's going to be using this GSP most of the time because it's a super strong thread. You'll bend the hook before you ruin or pop that thread. But today we're going to be using a 140 denier, and there's a chart out there somewhere. I'll try to find it and post it on explaining that type of thread. And this kind of gives you an example of how important it is to hook selection's important. And then once you get your hook, then what materials are you using? Then you're going to figure out what thread you're going to be using, and all that's going to come into play. But today we are going over this is a beginner session on tying in split wing hairs. We're not tying the full fly. We're not tying the full fly, we're just tying in the wing. Give you a quick example on that. Let's see, Ryan says, I do believe, oh, I got something in my eye. Don't quote me, the denier is based on the weight of the thread. The aught has to do with the gauge or diameter of the thread. Okay, very good. Yeah. Yeah, I'll find that chart. I've got it, and it tells you which ones are good for, splitting the threads, which one. I had it somewhere last year sometime. I found it, and I'll try to find it again and post it. But yeah, it's a great deal. Understanding thread, understanding hooks, bends, all that stuff all plays together. So, like I said, I am still a beginner. I've been tying since September of last year. So, again, if you need further questioning, by all means, post a question here. The veteran tires, they'll be answering them as well. If not right now, we will get you an answer on that. I'm just showing you kind of basic technique on how I learned. Most of my stuff I learned was in this group here from our veterans, and most of, I watch a lot of videos. Barry Ward Clark was my big go-to on a lot of my video tutorials. But yeah, a lot of veterans on here will answer any other questions you have. But for today, and Another thing is I also created, we've got a guide section at the top of our page, and all these photos are videos. Hey Jody, all these videos will be posted in there for a session for if you ever need to go back and reference, or you want to see what we did today. All of them will be saved in there in the guide section. But right now we're going to get started, and most of your split hair wings are going to be your Royal Wolves. You know, a lot of, I mean, you can get creative, but your mayflies. This particular one here, that's my green drake that I tied, and I used deer hair for split wing there, and then used a very large hackle on that one. But most of them you're going to be there's a lot of patterns that use that split hair wing. Let me go ahead and zoom in. If you have any questions, post them. Like I said, if I cannot answer them, someone will. I'm just going to kind of roll with it here, and shouldn't take too long, but I'll tie in a few different materials so you can see. Let me see here. Go here. Zoom in a little more. Okay. Whoop. Okay, make sure your hook is balanced in your vise. Now, typically, you know, the no tie zone, where'd my bodkin go? I like to, this is my no tie zone. I don't like to tie anything in this area whatsoever. Yeah, the green drake is a favorite of mine too. Okay, so since the no tie zone is here, I'm going to start, my wing is going to start right about there. That's kind of where I want, maybe even further back, right about here is where I'm going to want to create that base. A few threads back, a few wraps back on there, and then I'm going to come back up. And usually on these, we're going to come back up just a little ways here, create a, right there. This is about where I want to start my wing. Now for starters, because, can you post a photo of that one later, please? The green drake? Yeah, I'll share that photo with you. I've got it posted in the group, Ellen. It was one we did for the tandem challenge that Brent started last, it was probably, what, 6 months ago? But, so when you're getting your material, oh, and I forgot to tell you on this one, on a lot of the hair wings, you want, I already got this thing loaded. When you're using, let me back out. When you're using for your hair wings, your split hair wings, getting a stacker is important. Anytime you're dealing with hair, you're going to want a stacker. Now this one is a Dr. Slick. It's a mini one. I like to on some of my small flies. This is a great tool. Now this one I got from Jay Stockard, $3-4, maybe $5-6 at most. Get you one of these. If not, I've seen some DIY ones made with shotgun shells or something. But you need something that you can stack the hair in. Because what you do is I've got this hair right here. So when you cut it off and you got this material here, you want to get all those tips aligned. So you slide it in like so, and you bang it on your desk. Few knocks, and then when you pull it up, you've got most of your hairs are going to be lined up. Most of those tips are going to be nice and straight, and that's really what we're going for. When we do these wings, like on the parapost, you know, pretty straight. I am a little unorthodox. I like some wonky wings like this when I start using calf tail. That's a hard one. Haha. Yes, hand stack them is a great way to do it too, Brent. Your daughter's right. I like to work smarter, not harder. But hand stacking is an option too. But yeah, see on the calf tail, I don't necessarily go perfectly straight on that one as compared to this. These are pretty straight. But yeah, and that's all up to you. Really, it's preference. Let me see if I can go down here on the table here to show you kind of what I'm doing. Uh-oh. So I'll get the hair and I'll just pinch off a little clump. And you also got to think about how much you're gonna want for your this, you know, depending on the size hook. More is always better because you can pull it off. Grab you a pinch, come in with your scissors, cut it off. Let's see, now this all comes wonky. Alright, zoom in here. Now I've got it here, right there, and then what you want to do is get rid of, you got it right here, get rid of all this excess fluff. You're going to get rid of all that. Just set all that in the trash can. You pull that out. Because all that underfur is going to be hard to tie in. And like I said yesterday, if you tuned in yesterday, when you're dealing with hair, you really want to get rid of all that underfur. So I use this little lice brush. Get rid of as much of that underfur as you can. Spread it a little. Move that around like that. Now, put it in your hair stacker. This one actually probably just needs to be, you don't need a hair stacker. This one, they're pretty much all pretty good. So I'm just going to run with that. Big sale at the shop today. Tuft. Thread at half price. Nice. We'll see you, Ryan. Yeah. You gotta get on that thread. Alright, so now an easy way to transfer this over, Brent taught me this, is you take your finger, put your thread there, grab it with your other hand, roll it over. Now you've made a nice little transfer. Now here's where you want to check your length of your wing. Let's see, come up a little bit. Get my adjusted here. Okay, I'm trying to see here. Alright, so you got your wing here. Now, what you're going for is at least a shank from here to here is how high you want it to go up. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll measure that, that's about right, put it to where your thread is, right there, and give yourself a little guess. It's about right there. And then grab your thread, up in a pinch wrap, where you go back inside your, I don't know how you ain't able to see that, and then pull down. And this is where that heavier denier comes into play. You just give it pull down, just like so, and you start to see it. This compared done hair is really nice because it does not flare that much. It's nice and thin, and don't let go of the hair back here. And then what you do is you keep a hold of the back, make sure it's on there nice and straight, and light turns, keeping the front of the hair up. Just keep pushing it up and on top, and make nice loose turns on top. Because what you're doing is you don't want it to roll on you, and that's why you're holding on to the back. Nice little, and then pull down a little bit and make tight wraps going up. And this is going to kind of secure it into place, just like so. And now what we're going to do is hold on to the back, kind of what we talked about on the pair post yesterday. Come in over the top, try not to cut your hair up here. Put your scissors over it and taper this. Try to get my fingers out of the way so you can see it. Give a nice taper right like that. And that taper, what that taper is going to do, that turned out pretty good. You usually got to clean a bunch of that off. Now, just to secure that, you come over the hair, and this is going to stop it from spinning on you. And you just secure all that, cover all that up, and you can do tight wraps on this. Check it. Alright, Now you look at that, you got a nice little taper there. Let's see, get this. So you can see that, there you go. You see that nice taper. And then you work that. At this point is when you would go and tie in your tail and clean all that up. We're not finished with that. Now what we got to do, best thing to do is wet your fingers, pull all that hair right there, and create your dam. You just wrap right in here, just build that dam up just like so. Kind of create that, taper it up, and then you're gonna be right here, and it's gonna hold those up. Now this takes a little practice, and I'm still learning. This might be a little too far back to where I would like it. Let's try something. Let's experiment. We'll take a couple wraps forward to get it to where we want them to set. Try it again. We'll just go with that. Now, we've got that right there. Now this is where their compare done wing comes into play. On a compare done, you could just leave that as is, and then you're going to wrap your dubbing all the way around it, and you're going to get, let's see if I can turn that. You're going to get your wing that's like that, the compare done wing, and you spread those out, and that's pretty much your compare done. And then you put your tail, your body on, and fill up your head and all that stuff, and then that's the end of the fly. Well, being on a split wing, most of the time when you do a royal wolf, you got to leave room for your hackle. So you're going to have your hackle in there, and then enough for your head. But to get the split wing is where we're going next. Now, I got Jim Bissinger from Fiberflies Dubbing showed me a little trick. But when you do this, instead you could go through and you can try to split the wings by hand like this, you know, and split them up and then do them that way. But what he showed a little trick, if you take your thumb or your finger and you push back and work it, it gives the natural split. And you push the fur all the way down, it's going to split them perfectly straight. And then, so it's just like a natural split. Wet your fingers a little if you want. Split them apart. You're going to have your split, like so. And then, you're just going to take your thread. And kind of what we did with the pair posts. We're going to cross over the top, like so, off that side, and we're going to grab that side and we're going to wrap. Down low, just a couple wraps. Say three turns. Bring your thread back over and cross that. Like so. So now, if you can see there, we've got one. Let's try to get this a little closer so you can see that. We've got this one, couple little wraps right here. That's going to split that thread. That's going to split that wing and keep it separate. And then we just repeat the same process to the other side. Always wet your fingers if you want to keep those fur hairs together. Just a couple wraps down at the base. Once you do that, now both of your wings are split. You got a nice split, just like so. And if you can see, you've got thread wraps on both sides, keeping that split. And at this point, you can pull them up, squeeze them up like so. They're still gonna be split. That's the nice thing about when you add those two or three thread wraps in between on each wing. Now they're good to go, and then you just secure it by adding a few more thread dam wraps right here. If you notice, I have not gone into my no tie zone. That is my head. Okay, but you want to be careful here is when you do this taper, you're making a nice even taper for your hackle when you come through. When you do your wing, your legs, and that is going to be how you do the split wing for that. And that's using compare done hair. And we'll go ahead and add a hackle to that, just to give you an idea how that works. And most of the hackle that you're going to use for this, show you that, it's going to come off your rooster saddles. The saddles are going to be the longest. Show you pull one off of here. This is going to be your whiting. I'll pull this out. This is going to be your whiting saddle. Oops. Here, and it's going to have your long feathers. Now this is just a black, and when you do these, it's the same kind of as when you do your pair posts like we did yesterday. You can take your saddle before you pull it out, find you one that is a good barb length that you want. I'll zoom in here, and this is going to be one of the last things that you do, but you still you tie it in once you get your body and everything done. All that's going to be done, your tail, your body, and then once you get up here with your dubbing, where my body can go, once you get up here with your dubbing, that's when you're going to tie in this hackle. And what you're looking for is on these is you want one that's going to at least, you don't want your hackle to go much further past this hook right here. So this is a very large hook. This is one that I wanted to show you guys so y'all can see it. But this is going to be a size 8. So I'm looking for a hackle that's going to be at least a size 8. And this one was pretty close. To give you an idea. And that is going to be right there. That's a little too short. I would want to go a little bit longer than that. So I would keep searching through until I found one that was pretty good length through. And most of these on this saddle are around 8-10. But if I wanted to, I'll look through here. A lot of this, you take your time. Way too short. Guess I should have done this earlier. Yeah, we'll run with that one. That one looks good. This one I think was too long. No, that won't work. Okay, so what you do with that, kind of how we did yesterday. This is one from yesterday. Is there any more questions? I didn't see any more. Okay. So this one we tied in yesterday on the pair posts, and that's the same thing. This one we want, depending on which way you want if you want the dull side facing out or the shiny side facing out. I always do the shiny side facing out. Like I said, I'm still learning some of that stuff. But you're going to strip one side up. The side that you're going to wrap is the side you want to strip. Now, I need you over here. So let's see if I can do this. Let me try something here. This may not work. Let me flip this around. Bear with me. Go right here. See if I can do what Brent does and zooms all the way in, and camera and everything's in their way. So you can see my angle. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to get right up close right here. This is where I kind of want, I'm going to tie that in right here. I'm going to lock that in, come back around, and where I want, whoa, get enough thread out here, where I want my hackle to come up, or where I want it to start is where I want, and that's about where I'm going to want. I'm going to want to get 2 or 3 wraps behind, and then at least 2 or 3 in front, depending on your thickness or how you want. And go ahead and secure your body in, or the stem of that fly, or that hackle, excuse me. And then get your thread, again, not crossing your no tie zone. Again, I'm going to pull those up. Where you start this, make sure, take your time on that very first wrap. That very first wrap will pretty much show how you're going to do everything. Determine how everything's going to pan out. Take your time here. Just, it's hard with the camera in front of you, that's for sure. I understand what so, and now you just keep that hair out of the way. Just preen it all back. Use your bodkin. That's what those things are for. I don't use them enough. Pull them out of the way. Just get, you want everything to line up correctly, because final stage of the wing. And then, see, you get that hair trapped in there. It's going to look like an ugly mess later. You're going to be wishing you took that time. Now, take the hair. Get it. Okay. And go to the front. Put a few in here, just like so. Keep it back nice and tight. Keep tension on your thread the whole time, or on your hackle. Wet your fingers. There you go. Get back, and there. And once you're done with that, you come in here, grab thread, lock it in. One wrap around. Keep tension on your thread. Another one right there. Come in with your scissors. Watch your thread. Keep your thread out of the way on this. Keep tension right there. I like to put my finger, let's see if I can get this. Keep my finger right there in between the threads so I do not cut the thread. That will frustrate you. And then give a quick snip. Right there, pull that out of the way. Keep tension on that thread. Ooh. A little difficult with this in your way. I like to pull all those extra little fibers back. Just like that, not too much, because you don't want this going like a wet fly, soft hackle. You want those hackles to sit up. Keep them back up from the eye, and then you can do your whip finish. On these, I typically like to do, hopefully I'm not way too loud on this. I've got this little tool here. I like to do, you gotta be careful with this because your thread will come off, and you don't want that to happen. Take your time, put that on the eye of the hook. Oh, this one's a little too small. Use your bodkin tool here, the end of your bodkin, same thing. Put it up there. This one has seen some better days. Wow. Right there, little half hitch in there. Now we should be good to go. A couple more half hitches. Like so. That should hold it for this purpose. And then give it a good little brush in here. Minus the fluff, and then voila, you've got your split wing right here. And then you got your hackle here to keep it afloat. I should use the orange just to give you an idea. But that hackle, when you look at that hackle, it possibly could work. Yeah, that'll work. It's going to stand up. The tail's going to stand it up. So yeah, that's a decent length of a hackle there, in my opinion. You get a whiting hackle, and that's going to be nice and tight, snugged up. It might be a little too long there, but that is going to be your split hair wing. Now, I'll go ahead and set that one off to the side. We'll go back to the other view here. Whoa, too close to that ugly mug. While I set this other one up, does anyone have any questions, or you veterans, y'all have any input? Because these will be saved and logged in our guide section for future use. What did I do with? Oh, what hook? Where's that hook? Anyone? No? Any beginners have any questions? No question is a dumb question. The only one that's dumb is the one you don't ask. I'm not calling you dumb, I'm just saying. You might not have any questions, I don't know. Right. So we'll go on. I'll show you a calf tail real quick. How to, calf tail wing, because that's pretty much it. The split wing is pretty simple, but it's just a little complicated because of the extra step of the split. But at the same time, that we're just trying to run through. I'll run through it real quick, less talking. Yeah, 1.5 length of the hook gap. That's right. Let's see, we'll go with calf body hair. Oh, get the thread started. So this one, like I said, I'm going to do less talking. I'm just going to kind of go into it. Keep eye on the comments. Zoom in here. Hey Brian, on the calf tail or the calf body hair, this one is just, get you a large clump of this stuff. It's super fine stuff, super fine. The Sal, tomorrow's show, I am working on the split feather wings. Today I was just going to focus on just the on the fur, on the hair. But tomorrow I will be talking about the wings. I'll be go over CDC, feather tips, soft hackle, just kind of touching base on all that. It's pretty, feather wings and hair wings are very similar. They're just, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, that slipped in my hand, so we'll hand stack it. So yeah, we'll be going over that tomorrow though, for sure. I'm just having to hand stack it. That one slipped. This stuff is super fine. Oh, what time? Oh, yes. I will post tomorrow. I've got it listed at 10. But I have a I have a class tomorrow. I've got to take a math test tomorrow for my school, and I am going to, that's from 10 to 11, 12, so it may be about 12 o'clock tomorrow as the class tomorrow. What animal is calf hair? It's from a cow, Rick. It's this is just a baby calf. I guess one that didn't make it, and they provided us with the calf hair. It's super fine stuff. So, but yeah, I'll repost the group. In the group, I've got it set. The class tomorrow set for 10, but I will change that because of my class I've got coming up. I forgot about it. But yeah, Rick, if you go to check with Nick Dooley or any of your local fly shops, just ask them if they've got calf body hair. Yeah, I'd say about noon, Alan. Yeah. Rick, it could be something from that. Veal calves, yeah. It could be a calf, but most of those calves are going to be yeah, it could be, mostly I'm thinking a cow. Alright, we'll get most of this out of here. Calf hair is super fine stuff, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the best we can with it. Do a pink trap. Oops, zoom in. Do a little pink trap, get rid of this extra. Pull it down, hold the back of it tight. Keep tension on it. Oop. Get it started there, hold the back of the fur there. Bring that up top here. And your calf hair is used a lot for your royal wolves. They like the white wings. And as you're going back on this stuff, slowly start adding more tension, and then come in and give your taper cut like so. This stuff it's really fine stuff. It's not a bad idea to get more than you need on this stuff, because a lot of it will fall out. Clean your body up. Zoom in. I am zoomed in. That's about as good as maybe you said that before I zoomed in. Alright, there's that. I'm going to pull that up. Don't tie into your zone there. Get your nice wing up there. Get my split. I'm going to push those back. Get my split. Do a cross right there. And this, you pull your thread out. And calf hair, you've got to get, it's got a lot of small fibers in here, so try to get as low to that base as you can to pick up all them extra little fibers or hairs. Whoop. Crap. And that's why. Nice and slow, tight wraps. Get wraps, a couple of wraps around that base. come loose. Okay. Straighten them up. That one's not wanting to cooperate, so rewrap it. A couple extra wraps on that one. Okay. Couple wraps behind. And there is our split wing. Okay, let's see. Find it when I'm tightening to keep it. Yep. And then angle more towards the front of the vise would be a good view. Yes, no, yeah, definitely. And then there. And then you can see, you get your two. It wasn't the prettiest. Lost some fibers in that one. Wasn't the prettiest, but you get the idea on that one. I'm using calf hair. And there you go. And then you can finish the rest of your body, come back up, do your hackle. This is where you add your tail, and right there, and then you add the rest of your hackle. And that is how you do split wings. Split hair wings. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be doing, I'll go over the feathers and hackle wings. The split feather, as you like your catskill, some of your mosquito patterns with the feather tips, and come up with another style or something. We'll work on with little CDC feathers. Thank you, Peter. Hopefully somebody can get some out of that, and like I said, we'll put these in the guide section, and we'll go from there. So that way, if you ever want to reference it later, if you're stuck on a certain spot. And yesterday it was brought up to see the fly tied in full, and me and Brent are going to work on, he's going to do the zoom, and we'll record it, and we will try to do the full fly so that way you can see it all done in one shot. But all right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'll post the time. Should be about noon tomorrow, and we'll go from there. All right, y'all have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Hey, appreciate it, Peter. I'm going to need it. This one's a tough one.